Welcome back to Views from the 50, an NFL podcast where we provide coverage on all things NFL. I'm your co-host, El Jefe, and I'm joined here by my fellow members of the SFN crew. How's everybody doing tonight on this Halloween edition?
Hey,
And
man.
them's calm. And them's calm.
Confused for the first time in a long time. I'm confused.
Another night, we're back at it.
I just don't know what's going on. Oh, Monty Bates.
Doesn't know what's
I
going
know what's
on.
going on. It's Halloween.
It's Halloween, man. You got to get into the spirit.
It's about to get spooky, you know? Spooky, huh? You know what I'm saying? About to get spooky. You feel me?
Well, it got spooky during the trade deadline today, fellas. The
the
Commanders
place.
were the Commanders were open house. Gave away two defensive pieces today. First up was Sweat going to the Bears. I was a little confused on that one. I don't know about y'all, but I thought the Bears were tanking. I don't know what they were doing picking him up. But Chase Young also left, and unfortunately, he went to the 49ers. I am not pleased about that. He is lined back up with Nick Bosa, his old college teammate. So I'm not looking forward to any of that tape. How y'all feel about the Commanders and giving away these pieces?
I mean, it's good for them, honestly, because we actually just discovered before the pod, before we started recording and all that. I mean, what they have a first round pick, 2 second-round picks, 2 third-round picks, and they have 90 million cap space. So the Commanders are doing what needs to be done to reset, under new ownership. So good for them. As a Cowboys fan, it's difficult to say, but good for them. San Francisco, as Wayne said earlier, the rich get richer, and that's just what they're doing. They are committing to the pass rush. No quarterback is going to have any ounce of breathing room if you don't get the ball off within 3 to 5 seconds. That's exactly what San Francisco is telling us right now. So the NFL has to figure out a way because, I mean, hey, they're down. They've lost 3 straight. A little confusion over there. Brock Purdy is not the guy that we all thought he was. Everybody's saying MVP. It's not looking like it right now. So San Francisco has to fix something, and they added Chase Young, who has 5 sacks in 6 games. Perfect addition for their team, I'd say.
I mean, the only thing I will say, despite Brock Purdy's despite Brock Purdy's performances recently, he still manages to average 15 plus in fantasy and still manages to stay in the top 10. So it's a tragic situation, but it also is somewhat beneficial for him. Although once again, fantasy points aren't going to help you win and aren't going to help you through the season. As a watcher, it is beneficial. But once again, it is coming to fruition to see that Brock Purdy is not the guy, and is starting to just question: was moving Trey Lance really beneficial, or was it worth waiting and seeing how he was after the injury?
Trey Lance was not going to be the guy in San Francisco. Sorry, it is what it is. Brock Purdy is the answer. He's just rough spell right now, but Trey Lance was never going to be the guy, unfortunately.
Why do you say? Don't you have Trey Lance on your roster currently?
Yeah, and even when the Cowboys are in blowouts, he doesn't touch the field. He hasn't even eclipsed Cooper Rush. So I'm here to tell you, Trey Lance was not going to be the guy. Unfortunately, you hate to see it, but you guys want to see black quarterbacks strive and succeed, but unfortunately, he just is not the guy.
Trey Lance was brought over to the Cowboys strictly to just learn some plays.
Obviously not, because they put up 42 on our head. So what did we learn?
I mean, it just didn't work out. I'm just saying that's why he was brought over.
It was a fluff move to appease Cowboys fans to make it seem like Jerry Jones and then we're going to make moves and do this, that, and the third. Nothing was done, obviously, as we see this trade deadline. So
I would just say good moves for San Fran. At the end of the day, they boosted up their defense like they needed to. All you need is a competent quarterback, and that's what Brock Purdy is. He's not trash. At the end of the day, he can still get a job done. But you just need a quarterback like that and a strong defense to win championships. So it's really tough on the edges now. You got Chase Young and you have Randy Gregory that got a couple weeks ago. So it'd be really interesting to see what they can do. It's up to Steve Wilkes because he hasn't been looking too good as a defensive coordinator so far. But we'll see. Right now they have all the pieces that they need to make a good run. So it's up to them. Up to, of course, Purdy to not turn over the ball, but they should be okay. Should be all right. Good move for them. Good move for the Commanders also, building for the future. It's something that they need because right now they're going through a little rough patch, so they can figure out what they need to do going into the offseason. Of course, letting go of Ron Rivera, obviously more than likely bringing Eric Bieniemy up to being the head coach for them to be the new regime, and then probably moving on from Sam Howell. Who knows? Because I feel like Sam Howell has all the pieces he needs to right now to kind of show himself, and he's showing himself in the wrong way. So we'll see how that goes, down the stretch.
Yeah, I don't disagree there. That's solid assessment. The Sam Hill situation, I feel bad for him because what's his name? Terry McLaurin, when the game's on the line, he drops 2 passes on 3rd and 4th down back to back. You can argue that he had to stretch out a little bit, but the balls hit him straight in his hands and in his chest. It's like, what are we doing here?
You got to
Sam Hill plays lights out against Philadelphia. But,
he loves that Philly matchup for some reason, man.
Yeah, and I don't understand it. And that's a very good point too, because it's time for them to move on from Rivera and Del Rio. Bring in the enemy. See what happens there.
Bring somebody fresh. Yeah, I think that'll be the case. Yeah.
And if they can get a new quarterback, that'll be big for them too.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think they're a quarterback away from being a stout team.
Yeah.
Yeah, they grab a couple of new pieces, man. It'll be an interesting division for sure. Because you'll still have the Eagles and the Cowboys. I mean, the Giants, if they somehow get that offensive line right, it could be interesting in New York. So
need a quarterback. They need a quarterback so bad in New York.
I mean, I don't know.
How it
is. I don't think Daniel Jones is that bad.
Man,
what are you seeing?
That's what I'm wondering.
I'm seeing a bad offensive line. That's not giving a guy time, because I don't even think a guy like Aaron Rodgers, a guy like Patrick Mahomes would really be able to flourish with an offensive line like that. Just to be completely honest, if one of them were on that team right now, I think they'd be in the same situation they're in right now.
No way.
Maybe a game or two better.
You're speaking about generational quarterbacks. So they absolutely want to beat the Jets.
Line, I just don't see it.
I don't think guys will get up to play with Daniel Jones as your quarterback. That's the issue.
What competent quarterback and what playoff winning quarterback, Super Bowl winning quarterback throws 15 touchdowns? 15 touchdowns in a season total.
Well, we could say Trey Dilfer.
Yeah, but that's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. That's in the right situation because he had a great defense.
I mean, arguably the best defense ever, for being honest. So but that's a fair point. At least in this day and age, you're not getting off with just 15 touchdowns. There's no way.
You're just not getting that. You're not.
It's impossible.
You're not. It's tough. He had to have Saquon. He had to have the rushing, yards and things like that, which we were surprised about in general. But he's just not he's not a good quarterback that can get the job done. There's just nothing I can see him he wasn't even worth the money that he got paid. They should have gave it to Tyrod, just because.
He should have given it to Saquon, for being honest. But running
back, honestly, Saquon. Saquon is just draft the QB. Could have drafted Levis.
I mean, for a 4-touchdown debut, you're not wrong there.
Honestly,
and I mean, to be fair, yes, the Giants' offensive line not good. We get it.
Mm-hmm.
Evan Neal had the meltdown against with his fans or whatever. But it's also, what have you done for me lately? Because he doesn't really do much when he does have time to throw the ball. So he has Darren Waller now. Saquon Barkley is decently healthy, and the defense is doing the job for what it's worth when they're not playing against certain teams like the high octane offenses. But they held the Jets to what, 10 points?
Yeah, 10 points, man. They have a good defense.
He has to do more. He has to do more.
No, you're right. Well,
I mean, he didn't play obviously, but
yeah.
The
But
Italian kid, Tommy. What?
I don't even know. It's like his third string.
He looks like
He
looks like he's straight out of an episode of Sopranos or off of what's that show? Jersey Shore.
Oh my god.
But the point is, Daniel Jones wouldn't have done anything either. You know what I mean? And that's the problem that we're having because Daniel Jones and the Giants, they're just something's amiss there.
Yeah.
Brian Daboll last season was supposed to be this coaching genius. What are we seeing now? Less than mediocrity. One of the worst teams in football.
He's throwing a tablet at him. Sick of it.
It's not just the offensive line. That's the problem there.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Speaking of guys, though, that are in the right place at the right time, man, Alan Lazar was in the right place at the right time when the Jets and Giants played each other. That 25-yard pass got him right in the field goal range to bring it into overtime and steal one right in MetLife against the G-Men. And I loved watching that ending. That was a great ending to watch the Giants melt down and lose another game. You know, as a Cowboys fan, I love to watch the Giants or Eagles or Commanders lose. It's just a great thing to watch. But to watch Zach Wilson, you're right. I'm not worried about them. But to watch Zach Wilson do what he needed to do, go out there, get the field goal, and then win it in overtime. As a fan of BYU when he was there and making some good money on him, I was very, very proud of him.
I know he was gonna go there.
He finds a way to sneak in BYU these past couple of weeks. I don't know what
Every
that
time.
is. FA's a BYU guy. Bring him young.
I'm trying to tell you that when he was there every week, they were messing that spread up, and I was getting money.
Take you on.
That's
BYU
actually kind of
stands.
crazy. Because BYU stands for bring them young, and Zach Wilson does not want you to bring him young.
Right.
I don't know why.
No, he does not.
I don't know. I thought about that just now, but that's my fault. That's my bad. That's my bad.
That's true. That's true.
But nah, Zach. I mean, I'm always happy to see the Jets play good football. Man, they play solid defense. That front seven is solid. I really enjoy them playing good football. That's a good point, FA. Let's clap it up for Zach Wilson and bring him young.
Yeah. Apparently we're bringing him in young. But it's good for Zach, good for the Jets. I know you guys see the A-Rod throwing the other day. You know, it's a little more gallop in his step too. I wouldn't think too much of it, but still, it's a little more gallop and it is interesting. That's all I can say about that. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes down the line. I can't see Zach Wilson if they make it to the playoffs. They won't win more than one game anyway because they'll be on the road. It just won't be good. So we'll see how that goes. But I can't see the Jets making any type of run if they do make a run. That's all. No, at 4-3. That's all we can keep it as. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the moral of that is Aaron Rodgers is not a human being.
100%. 100%.
He's not a real human.
It's the ayahuasca. That's the ayahuasca.
For sure.
Yeah, he's definitely a different breed.
It's definitely not the vaccines. Let's say that. It's definitely not the vaccines.
No, he's fully against it. 1,000%.
I think he's spending a lot of time in that pitch black cabin, probably. Whatever is going on in that cabin is what's really got his Achilles heel like bastard. I think I should have done that.
Should have thought about it, man.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out where that cabin is because
Kirk Cousins needs it.
Kirk Cousins might be on the phone right now.
Shout out to that.
Trying to call A-Rod.
Shout him out, man.
He's got to make the interdivision. Oh no, sorry, they're no longer division mates.
He can try and make that. He might pick up now. He might help him out. He might pick up now.
Yeah, just make the call.
Oh man! All right, well, let's get right into it. The next one, Dallas's defense, man, showed up and showed out. But, I mean, hopefully for me, I hope this continues. Bland got his third pick six of the season. It's great to see after people wanted to try and write him off after that first game where he came out looking sloppy. But he's turned things around. Defense is moving up and hopefully in the right direction. We got a big, big matchup this weekend coming up. So I need them to do what they did all over again. I need to see it in Philly. How'd y'all feel about the Dallas defense against the Rams though this week? TP, Tommy, I know you got something to say.
I was gonna let everybody else speak before I decided to go on
I'll say for me it was impressive. At the end of the day, this was a win that you guys had to win. Um, Sidely impressed, sideways, like you guys, I knew this was going to happen too because you guys have been playing great at home lately. All together, that's just how it's been. But it's something that you guys had to do. You guys had to show that you guys were the more superior team. The Rams, weren't nothing. And I was really shocked how you guys contained Puka and Cooper Cup down, knowing that those were Matthews' main two targets right there. So you guys did pretty well with that. Overall, I'll say defense played really well, and offense was clicking on all cylinders. CD finally got the ball. That's what you guys needed to see. That's what he needed right there, and it showed. So kudos to you guys, and that's good momentum going into this week. Wish that the game was in Dallas this week, but it's good momentum still going into to Philly this week. That's all I'll say.
It was a good game. I thought it was going to be. Honestly, had the opportunity to attend the game, but my intuition told me not to go, so I did not go, which I was glad about because it would have been a waste of time and also a waste of sitting in traffic. So I was racially appreciated that I chose not to go. It was a more enjoyable weekend. But on the sport, I was thoroughly unimpressed on Terry McLaurin personally. Like it's just the performances you've been giving recently have just been very par. Um, and it's just like one of those situations where I'm just like, you know what? It is what it is. But all in all, it was, I guess, an enjoyable game from the TV. Put it that way. Tommy, what's your take?
Well, the Rams, they got off a little bit. They got off a little hotter than what was expected. They didn't really do much, but they kind of drove downfield. Deron Bland had a very large. He undercut a block. Basically, got to stop that, forced the Rams to kick a field goal because we scored initially. We scored on our first drive, and they drive down the field, get a field goal. But I think that is what really set the tone for us. Deron Bland making that stop, and then obviously gets the pick six. Everything was pretty much off to the races at that point. Dak Prescott and the West Coast offense, he does look well against teams that ultimately don't have anybody on defense. So what has to happen now is that he has to perform against a team with a solid defense, and the Philadelphia Eagles are no slouches. Obviously, just adding Kevin Byard. I'm sorry, I don't know if I butchered his name. Obviously, we know the guys they have: Hassan Reddick, Fletcher Cox, Darius Slay, Bradbury. Obviously, can be picked on, but with the safety over top of the Reed Blankenship. I'm not going to say what I said in some chats about certain safeties in the league, but Reed Blankenship should not have got that interception. I will say that about the Commanders game this week. But I think Dallas is in a good shape, as Wayne was saying. Coming off of the bye, you have to win this game, and they won it in a very masterful fashion. They were firing on all cylinders, got the block for safety. Then you go right down the field and score again. The Cowboys, you have to put away bad teams, and that's what the Cowboys did. And so this week, you have to show that you are not what you showed against San Francisco when you're playing against elite teams. You have to show that you are capable of playing against elite teams. Otherwise, the season is just going to be for naught. You know what I mean? So, obviously, we're looking before the podcast. Dak's last three outings against Philadelphia, he put up 41 points, he put up 51 points, he put up 40 points. This Philadelphia offense has AJ Brown, which they had last year, Devontae Smith, which they had last year. They now have DeAndre Swift, which is a bruising running back. And that offensive line is creating a lot of holes. Now this front seven has got to get physical. They've got to get Jalen Hurts on the ground. And it's a very difficult task to do. He stiff arms you. He has strong legs. So it's very difficult to get him on the ground. If the Cowboys want to have any sort of chance of winning this game or making it interesting, they have to get him on the ground. For some reason, their offense kind of doesn't show up until the second half or whatever it is. I don't want to say that because then they might just start firing off on all cylinders. AJ Brown set the record this week for 125 yards in 6 games in a row. So, somebody has to put that to a halt. I'm hoping that we can find a way to contain them, whether it be we have to get after Jalen Hurts and just not give him any opportunities to throw the ball or what. But the Cowboys, they play well against bad teams. now we're going up against an elite team, arguably the best team of football, if not the best. Right now, they're the best team of football. So this is where you either put up or shut up.
Yeah, you're right about that. It's time to put up or shut up. Speaking of putting up or shut up, though, it was the first official meeting for Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. And Bryce Young came away in the final seconds with a nice little drive. They got a field goal victory. It's unfortunate. I know everybody was riding CJ's band, but Bryce, I was saying everybody was riding on CJ's bandwagon.
Okay. No, I just didn't hear what you said. I didn't hear what you said.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure I heard you correctly. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Everybody's riding CJ's bandwagon, and Bryce Young found a way to get his first NFL win. You know, that's something that, I was trying to tell y'all, I feel like a few weeks ago, but nobody wanted to hear me then. Now y'all see the results. I said it was going to be, if Bryce was going to get a win this year, it was coming after the bye week. And unfortunately, I didn't want to see it, but it happened. How do y'all feel now that it's happened?
I'm just glad that he got it out the way finally. I was shocked that it was against the Texans, to be honest with you. But yeah, I'm happy that he got it out the way. It was much needed. Need him to win a little bit more games too, as well, so they can, get the Bears out of that first and second seed where they are. Kind of, branch that out a little bit more instead of helping them out. But we'll see. It's kudos for Bryce. That's it. That's all I can say. Kudos for Bryce.
Yeah, I mean, congratulations to Bryce Young. Obviously, everybody here has been rooting for CJ Stroud, but there was another quarterback in the draft aside from the big three that everybody's talking about. Anthony Richardson is now out for the season. CJ Stroud, who, as Hefe said elegantly, we were riding his bandwagon. So we were all celebrating and cheering for CJ Stroud, but we all kind of forgot about Bryce Young. So congratulations to him, as Wayne said. Congratulations. Bryce came out there, did what needed to be done. I personally thought CJ was going to get the dub. I looked up and I was like, "Whoa, wait a minute!" So, congratulations, Bryce Young. And hopefully you can turn your season around and get a couple more dubs. As long as one doesn't come against Dallas, because then we play y'all later on this season. So, just max and relax when you got to deal with us.
They gonna beat y'all by 3.
Here it is.
We knew Shab was going to chime in with that.
No. Whatever. Yeah, we're not entertaining that guy. He can let him just dance. Let him do his dance.
Oh my goodness, that's great. That is great.
Have y'all seen that? Have y'all seen the video where they're like in some like ROTC class? There's this dude. It's like, do your dance. I think it'll be it. And he stands up and does that wild ass dance. He's like, there it is. Oh, I'm sorry. Continue, man.
That's great.
My mental illness just kicked in crazy. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
All right. Well, something that wasn't so great. The Eagles completed a comeback on the Commanders this past week. And, as much as I don't like to see the Commanders win, I was really hoping they would secure a victory against them bum Eagles. But unfortunately, Hurts threw 4 touchdown passes. And like you said a little bit ago, what's his name? Brown went over 100, some 30 yards receiving. And I mean, it's just unfortunate to watch. Unfortunate to see. I was hoping to see the Commanders continue to upset the Eagles once a year, but it did not happen this year. And it might be over for the Commanders completely. But how do y'all feel?
Well, first off, I couldn't see for the topic prior, so I know I had skipped the last topic, and I just wanted to clarify my comment on Terry McLaurin was meant for this topic here. So I want to apologize so y'all can see my face, understand I was off. And the last topic, I had nothing to say because it was not for me to watch.
It's no big deal, man. You know, we were just rocking. We knew that you was locked in on both games. You know, so we do. You know, Cowboys fans appreciate it. Commanders fans also appreciate it. They both fanhoods appreciate your dedication to the craft.
My
Um,
God.
Oh my
now
God,
with
great.
now with the Eagles completing the comeback, it's very disappointing. But we all kind of knew it was coming. The Commanders just could not put the game away when they needed to put the game away. They just could not put the game away. And at
Yeah.
some point, if you keep allowing the Philadelphia Eagles to hang around, AJ Brown is going to wake up, or he's gonna do what he needs to do. And it's only a matter of time before Devontae Smith makes a big momentum shifting catch, which he did. And then you have the Eagles forcing a turnover, which they will, with Reed Blankenship, when Sam Howell should have thrown the underneath route. He decides to try to force the ball to Terry McLaurin, which again you understand because that's your wide receiver number one. But you can't do that in games like that because you give a team like that life, especially when you turn the ball over in your red zone. They are going to score a touchdown.
Exactly.
On top of the Eagles now displaying that they are doing a fake brotherly shove or tush push, whatever you want to call it. So they're handing it off to DeAndre Swift. So now you have to pay attention to that now. It's spooky hours for a lot of teams in the NFL. Now, Dallas, please watch film because the Commanders, for whatever reason, know how to play against the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know if it's because Bieniemy is there and he coached against them in the Super Bowl. I don't know what it is. But watch film. We need to figure out what's going on because we all know Philadelphia fans are saying this is Dallas week. We all know how Sirianni feels about Dallas. So it's time. Commanders fans, I'm sorry.
The one thing though, I know I did hear about Jalen Hurts' knee being injured, so he's not running as much. So if Parsons could get off that edge, he probably won't escape. It just depends on how the knee feels on Sunday, but he probably won't escape too much on Sunday. So we'll see how your edge rushers and D line gets in on them. So
So I did see him limping on that one of those ladder drives in the game.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wait a minute, there's something going on there. So I never wish injury on anybody, but the Cowboys won in the '90s when we played a little bit more gritty football. So if that's what you got to do, man, you got to do what you got to do, man. You got to hit somebody because AJ Brown is mean. Hassan Reddick is mean.
It's a big target stock. Big target.
Look, man, get off the podcast, get off the camera, make a phone call to somebody, ask them what it's like to be mean. Ask them what it's like to be big and ugly. Just do what you got to do because now this is time. It's time now. We're going to Philadelphia. We got to be big and ugly now. We have to be rude. We have to be, I don't give a fuck what's going on. We have to play football. There's no friendship anymore. There's no, we're gonna get you back later. There's none of that. It's hey, we're here now. We know what time it is. We know what week this is. It's Philadelphia and Dallas, okay?
Must-win game.
Hatred. You have to have it. You have to have it now. You have to have it in your heart. I know I feel it. You have to have that hatred.
We play the Commanders this week, so I'm chilling.
I know you're good. I know. This is what I wanted to say a little bit ago, but I started getting a little pumped up. You have to have that hatred.
You got to. No, you got to. You got to, man. You gotta be ready.
AJ Brown has that hatred for whoever he lines up against. These guys are too nice. You have to have that hatred. Yeah. DeMarcus Lawrence, he has it sometimes. Now, if we could just transfer that hatred, that Charles Haley hatred, onto that Dallas Cowboys. Continue. I'm sorry. I'm losing it. I'm losing control.
Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness. It's all right, Tommy, man. Sometimes you got to let it out. You got to let the people know how you're feeling.
Because they're too nice. They are too nice. These guys are too nice.
He's basically saying you got to throw him to the side and say, "Excuse me."
No. See, that's the problem. That's the problem because you're saying "excuse me." Don't say "excuse me." Run through these guys.
It's just time to
you have to be physical, man. We seen Tom Brady cussing dudes out, man. Nobody on our team is cussing each other out. There's none of that. Nobody's cussing out anybody. Nobody's punching anybody in the mouth. It's high five and hug. No, you have to be gritty.
Well, we might have to wrap this one up before Tommy goes into cardiac arrest on here. But let's get into the next one real quick. Man, the Vikings beat Green Bay in a divisional showdown, but at a cost. Kirk Cousins, as we mentioned earlier, is now out for the season with an Achilles injury. And like we said earlier, hopefully he hit up A-Rod, and hopefully A-Rod took the call now that he's out that division, and he's helping him out because he's definitely healing up quick. But, for them, I think, Wayne, you mentioned earlier, they scooped up Joshua Dobbs in the trade. So now they're looking to Dobbs to lead the way, and I think Jefferson should be coming back in the next couple weeks. So I again still think it's the the Lions division to lose. So I don't think the Vikings will be doing any noise this year. But how y'all feel?
Yeah, good luck to Kirk Cousins. Wish him a speedy recovery, healthy recovery. Make sure that he can do what needs to be done.
Yeah.
Maybe make a phone call to Aaron Rodgers and his doctors. Obviously, we were joking or saying just, but in seriousness, speedy recoveries, man. Minnesota should still be in the running with Joshua Dobbs. Joshua Dobbs is not a bad quarterback. He's performing this season. They're not going to be off the map, and it is Detroit's division to lose. Detroit is playing really good football. They just added Donovan Peoples-Jones as well to their offensive weaponry. They're so. But this is about Kirk Cousins, and I wish him the best.
Donovan, he's what, their 10th receiver on the roster now?
Hey man, he can wherever they need him.
Okay. Yeah, he'll be getting their bench water.
Oh no, is Dobbins is probably the best QB to come in, mid-season and try to pick up an offense, especially at where they need him to be. I feel like he's a competent quarterback. He's a very smart dude overall. And they're at 4-3 right now, with a pretty easy next 3 games-ish, 3 or 4 games, I believe it is, for the next few. And they should be able to get it done to make some sort of run at it in the NFC. It'll be tough because you got a lot of outlier NFC teams too as well that can kind of knock them out. But with Josh Dobbs, with that move that they made for Josh Dobbs, is I think it's perfect timing and the perfect person to bring in for them to make some sort of move. I don't see him making too much of a move, honestly, a splash overall, because you needed Kirk Cousins to take you a little bit further. Kirk Cousins and you needed Justin Jefferson to take you a little bit further, but because he was having a hell of a year, man. It sucks that he went down, but it's a good move, like I said, that they made for Josh Dobbs. He's a really good quarterback, really smart dude. So, no.
Yeah, and 3 of the next 4 are winnable. Well, they got the Falcons in Atlanta, then they got the New Orleans Saints at home, Denver Broncos at Denver, and Chicago and Minnesota.
All winnable. No.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Especially with that defense they have. So,
absolutely. Yeah, man, go win you some games, Josh Dobbs.
That's it.
Yeah, we'll see if
but it's crazy. It's crazy that we think about that now, because that means Kyler's coming back, for Arizona, and they were thinking Kyler would be out the whole entire year this year. We're at week 9 we're going into now this week coming up. So it's a pretty interesting thing that's going on over there too, as well, with them being 1-7 this week.
But I also saw a report earlier that was saying that even if Kyler wasn't able to play, they weren't going to start Dobbs again. They were going with their rookie.
Oh, the rookie anyway. Mm-hmm. Gave up on him.
That's probably why they gave up on Dobbs and just traded him anyways, because they might just start the rookie.
Yeah, they're probably feeling a little bit calls for him too. So who knows?
I mean,
a good move.
At this point, we know what the Cardinals are doing, tanking.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray wants to play video games. It's all good.
Hey, why not?
Call of Duty for the rest of the season.
Hey, it is what it is. But there's another team I thought was tanking, but after 16 straight losses, they finally got their first win. I'm talking about the Denver Broncos and Sean Payton. They finally got a win against them Chiefs, and Chiefs, man, they look terrible. 9 points. I mean, and I think I saw a post online. It was said that Mahomes only had like seven fantasy points, the worst he's ever had, something like that.
Man, it was awful.
I mean, it's what a showing. How do y'all feel about that?
It's a bad addict.
Go ahead, Tom.
No, I was gonna say it's a bad addict, but we all know that Taylor Swift wasn't there, so nobody really wanted to play.
Did you see?
They couldn't
Did
get
you
the
see after the
highlights.
game?
So,
Hey, did you see the Denver crowd after the game though? They were
they played.
they were playing Taylor Swift.
Do what you got to do, But obviously, the Chiefs are not popping when Taylor's not there. Nobody. There's no cameras. There's no high fives. There's no cool daps in the press box. So that's obviously why Kansas. In all seriousness, Denver. Congratulations. I mean, they showed up. Trade deadline. Everybody thought that Denver was going to be another team that was going to have a fire sale, but they retained a lot of their pieces. Patrick Surtain is still a Denver Bronco. Jerry Jeudy still a Denver Bronco. So that's big for them. Maybe that is something that Sean Payton will want to work with in the near future. I don't know if Russell Wilson is going to be the answer going forward, but that's one of those moments where I think if Denver loses that game, then they do get rid of a lot of those pieces. So it's good for them to retain some sort of base or something going forward for that team. Because I do believe had they lost that game, they were going to get rid of everybody, or they would feel more liable to, like, all right, let's not trap these guys. But there's a glimmer of hope if you can take out the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I heard that they lost like 16 straight games against them, so it's a very overachieving win for them overall. Good, confidence boost for them overall that they needed, um, and for Sean Payton's security for his job too as well. It was much needed. So it's a step in the right direction, I would say overall, and hopefully that they can take this and catapult to more wins. Because they're a good team. They still have a great defense. Obviously, if you're holding Pat Mahomes, who cares if Pat said that he was sick? Like, at the end of the day, you're a quarterback. Come on, man. People have been sick and played games. You got to just play and go. Even if he said he was sick, if he would have won the game, he would have said, "Oh, and I was sick," and I won the game. So, still, you got to step up and play. Do your thing. So, Broncos, just kudos to their defense for just keeping up the right plan, stopping Taylor Kelsey, and all that that whole jazz that was going on. Like they stopped them. So, it was more so kudos to them, and getting the job done on both sides of the ball, because Kansas City they just came out flat, thinking that they just can win with finesse. So.
Yeah, because Patrick Mahomes was talking shit on like the first drive. He got hit on the sideline. He thought it was a late hit. And he's talking shit. He's jarring at the Denver Broncos. He's like, oh, no, we're here to play football. You're not just going to come over here and walk all over it. So, Denver showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Denver definitely showed up. Russ showed up. He was getting it done. Everybody on that team was showing up. But speaking of another guy that showed up this past Sunday, Joey Burrow, man, he was back. 3 TD passes. Started him in fantasy this past week. Got it done against the 49ers. Yes, they definitely watched some film somewhere. Coming off the bye week, they had a lot of time to prepare for this one. Held them to 17 points. Oh, it was great to watch the 49ers go down in defeat again, man. I personally love to see the 49ers lose. I wish that we would have beat them. This could have been 4 straight, but other than that, man, how y'all feel about this Joey Burrow victory?
It always seems like this man waits after like 4 to 5 games. He plays casual, and then he just comes out and just eats after like week 5, week 6, and he just turns up out of nowhere. It's just weird, but um, I would say good for the Bengals. Good win for them. I really didn't expect that in San Francisco, especially after the loss that San Francisco took the last 2 weeks prior to that. So good, solid win for the Bengals overall. They really needed this. Got him over 500. Joe Burrow's back to looking how he is. He's fully healthy, as we can see now too. That calf isn't bothering him, and glad it's not anything worse than just a calf injury too, as well. So they look like they're back to form.
It's the first time since 1970 that a team's first 4 victories have come against a single division in the opposite conference.
Mm.
And so all the Bengals wins have come against the Seahawks, Rams, 49ers and Seahawks. So, but it is especially impressive going up against the 49ers team, who obviously is hungry after losing 2 straight. And Cincinnati said no. Joe Burrow throwing the 3 touchdowns. The Cincinnati Bengals able to capitalize on Joe Burrow's 2 interceptions. I mean, Christian McCaffrey did tie the record for 16 games in a row with a touchdown, or however many it is. He tied it with Marshall Faulk, so that's impressive. Congratulations. But when you see how methodical, if you go back and watch that game, if you see how methodical Joe Burrow was, just in the pocket, very patient. I mean, yeah, he's going to take a couple hits, but delivering the ball to Jamar Chase, who run after the catch, and Joe Mixon probably doesn't get a lot of praise, but at least for this game. But Joe Mixon was extending drives, getting into, getting first downs for this team and setting up second and short or third and short. Joe Mixon had a hell of a game. So you have to look at that from all, it wasn't just Joe Burrow. Obviously, Joe Burrow's back in shape. And to Wayne's point, yeah, for some reason, Joe Burrow just take a break. It's like he's trying to try out for the next Home Alone movie, but it's not going to happen. Like Macaulay Culkin, we're done that. We know you look like him, but hey, man, you got to focus on football, because he takes the first couple games off, and now look at him. They're back in the thick of things, even though Baltimore's probably going to run away with that division, unless something drastic does happen. But they look good. And I mean, Joe Mixon gets in the end zone, Jamar Chase 100 yards, touchdown, Joe Burrow 3 TDs. Everybody's getting love. But San Francisco, they need to figure out what the issue is. I mean, I'm obviously happy, but somebody's got to figure something out.
Somebody's definitely got to figure something out. That's for sure. But before we get up out of here, let's do a little preview of this Thursday night. You got the Titans traveling to the Steelers. For me personally, I think the Steelers should win this one at home. Mike Tomlin should have these guys prepared for another home victory, home cooking. They play good defense, so that's my quick prediction.
You're bugging, bro. Will Levis just put up 4 TDs in his debut. It's up.
It's up. It's up. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to go against Mike Tomlin, but the way Levis just ate just now, he made me a believer, and I had no faith coming into last week. So
you think Tomlin don't have that defense prepared? Is what you're telling me?
In 3.5 days, nah.
It's up.
It's
up now.
He's letting it fly. Especially with the DBs that they have. They don't even have.
He's letting it fly right to the Steelers.
They don't even have Minkah Fitzpatrick this week. He has a hamstring injury. So you got to think about that. That's their top DB right there. And you have Pat P. Who's Pat P chasing down right now at this age? You only have TJ Watt really, on the line right there to really get him down. He'll figure something out and confuse him. He'll bat some balls down. But outside of that, the DBs, they don't really got too much right now, especially with Minkah. Minkah tracks everything down. So
it's about to get real physical. Will Levis is about to let the ball fly. Don't worry about it. DeAndre Hopkins is about to see what. Hey, it's about to get real spooky. You say it's Halloween, right? It's about to get real spooky.
Facts. Moneyline Titans.
What did DeAndre Hopkins say? Shit, I felt like Gino. They tried to count me out. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Will Levis season. It's up.
Yeah.
Okay. He's gonna make a late mid-season rookie of the year push. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Will Levis. Let's everybody tap in, put the flag on him on your fantasy radars, because I know he's in everybody's free agency right now.
Yes, sir.
So go ahead, tag him up, see what he does this week, and maybe pick him up after this one. But other than that, man, y'all can catch us next time. We'll be right back later on this week. Other than that, you check us out on IG at Views from the .50, YouTube Views from the 50 podcast, Spotify, Google Views from the 50. You catch us every Sunday on Twitch at Social Frequency. We'll see y'all later this week.
What did Magic Johnson say? I will not be here.